Hi, everyone. Welcome to Real Estate Agent Collective. My name is Tharmila Rajasingam, licensed realtor with eXp Realty Brokerage based in Toronto. And I'm here with Jacob SHIREMAN, who's a newly licensed agent with eXp Realty Brokerage as well. And he's actually based in Houston, Texas. And we're going to be talking about how to choose a brokerage. So Jacob, if you don't mind, let's start off by introducing yourself a little bit, why you got into real estate, and what's your work experience been like these past couple of years?
Yeah, so my name is Jacob SHIREMAN. I'm originally from Indiana, and I relocated to Houston about 4 years ago. And my background is in digital marketing. I've worked in digital marketing for about 12 years, worked for myself as a business owner for the last 9 years in marketing. And I've always wanted to have my real estate license. I actually wanted to get it about 10 years ago, just never had the opportunity to do so. And then I got involved in Georgia when I was living there outside of Atlanta and flipping houses. And I really loved the process. And then I actually lived in Venezuela for a year. So that took me away from getting that license. And then when I came back to Houston and after COVID hit, I decided now's the perfect time to get that license because everybody's at home. And so I got my real estate license and joined eXp.
I love it. And so how did you hear about eXp Realty Brokerage?
So I had been following a friend for, when I say, let's say an acquaintance, I've been following somebody on social media. I knew them personally from living in Florida, and I kept seeing on Snapchat how well they were doing at eXp and how much they loved it. And then when me and my husband decided to get our licenses together, I had reached out to him because obviously I was worried. For me, I wanted to know what brokerage I was going so I didn't lose any time. And I had reached out to him and asked him, hey, I keep seeing you post about eXp. How do you like them? And that's how I first found out about eXp and then started doing my research from there.
And when you chose eXp, like when did you know this was the right brokerage and you want to take your license to the next level? Because not everybody joins eXp the first time around because it is a very different model and it's a disruptive model. It really is changing the landscape of the real estate industry. So why eXp? Why now?
Yeah. So to me, it was a no-brainer. It's kind of common sense to me, and be that blunt. But being a business owner all these years and working for myself, the whole goal of a business owner is to run a business, have people in place so you can step back from the business and either do another one or enjoy your freedom. And so when I saw eXp and started doing the research in the model and saw that they not only could you be a real estate agent, our goal as a couple was that we wanted to quickly become a broker as fast as we can. Well, in Texas, that takes 5 years minimum. And then you have all of these hours to do all this course study and this really hard test. And so, because we knew we wanted sales agents, we didn't want to just rely on our efforts because guess what? If we're on a vacation in Cancun, we're not making any money, right? And unless you have a sales team that's working for you. So when I saw eXp and saw that not only could you be a real estate agent, but you had rev share, it was a no-brainer. And I was like, so I can bypass being a broker, not have the overhead or the training. They literally have a staff implemented that literally do all the training, that can answer calls. Our state that has 6 brokers that work with us and they're all amazing. So I was like, well, this is a no-brainer. And so started doing my research, and literally like 2 months before I got licensed, I knew I was already determined and told my husband, this is where we're going, whether you agree with me or not. So that's where we went.
Yeah. No, hey, great choice. And what I love about eXp is that there's so many different things for different agents and depending on what level you're at. And the model is it's so compact and it's very layered. And I love that about eXp. And I love that you were attracted to the revenue share model and that part of the eXp model. Did you, and you obviously know that, when you're coming into the brokerage, you can choose a sponsor. And for those of you that don't know, you have the option to find out, who's that one person that most influenced you to join eXp, and, what kind of value do they provide in helping you enhance your career. So what process is there a process you took in finding your sponsor?
Yes. So at first I didn't really understand the sponsor, and funny now being involved in agent attraction and talking to other agents about eXp, most people don't understand that concept. I think it's a mentor, somebody that trains you, but the sponsor is who introduces you to eXp and you're on their team and they kind of help with guiding you through the eXp. So The thing is with choosing my sponsor, I didn't understand that until I started doing more research. The guy that I originally was going to go under, he had just said, hey, this is eXp, here's a video. And so I watched it, and obviously I was sold right then and there.
Mm.
And then I was looking at, when they started talking about sponsors, I kept seeing YouTube videos about how to choose a sponsor. And so I was like, oh, they actually have some benefits that they can offer me as well. And so I kept thinking, oh, I'm going to want somebody locally, because we keep thinking locally like a brokerage. But with eXp being a virtual office, I loved that because I've been working from home for years. I never wanted to go into my office because I could do the same thing at home. And especially when COVID hit, everybody was working from home anyway. So this created a really solid foundation for eXp, and everybody thrived with eXp because they already had the tools in place to be virtual, while other brokerages did not.
Yes.
And so that pointed out to me. So when I started looking at like, okay, well, who's going to offer me the most? And then I stumbled on Mike Sherrard's video. And so Agent Wolfpack, their team with him and Connor, they really stuck out to me just because of what they had to offer. So as a team, anybody that's on their team and they have anybody on their sales team, they get the same thing. So they offered social media training, especially when you're going to be doing ads, lead generation, all these things that are worth so much in value that you get them for free. And for me, being in marketing, I didn't really need a lot of that. I already understood how to run a Facebook ad and how to create a Facebook page, or, things like that. But what I was looking at is, if I'm going to bring agents on, I want them to be well equipped, because I'm going to have revenue share of them. So the fact that his team allowed me to be able to offer somebody new, and say, look what I can give you, versus on top of what eXp gives, which is mind blowing. And then to have that extra thing on top of it was great. And then as I was watching his videos, I saw your interview video as a new agent, and that attracted me to your team, is because you're a new agent. You had great momentum, and I liked being around a new agent, because what happens being around seasoned agents sometimes is it's a great motivation, but sometimes they forget what it's like to be a new agent. So finding a new agent that was already seeing some success and some movement, that attracted me. And I was like, I'm gonna join her team because I'm still gonna get all of Mike's stuff. And so on top of that, I'm gonna get what's working for her with kvCORE. That's what attracted me through the CRM that we have. And that's kind of how I made my decision. In a
I
long
love it.
story.
And then from there, the rest was history, and we built an amazing relationship. And
Yeah.
I love how like this simple, kind of a task, I guess, a step into you choosing the broker, choosing a sponsor, had led to us kind of building this lifelong relationship of figuring out, like we are actual business partners, and we have, we do a lot of different things together, and we have a massive, strength in marketing. And, and I wanted to emphasize that when you're, meeting people, have that conversation, right? There's a process to you choosing a sponsor. And, when you're looking for a sponsor, and I wanted to kind of share this for people that, are stuck on like, what does it mean to be a sponsor? Because a lot of times they're like, oh, so-and-so introduced me. Well, I've never heard about eXp, so I'm gonna put their name. But essentially that's not the case. So like, why do you think it's important that you take your time to choose the right sponsor?
Because your sponsor is going to set you up for success. Now, they're not going to teach you necessarily unless they're like local, but even that people get so focused on, but they're not going to be your mentor, or eXp is going to teach you how to do real estate. Your sponsor is going to help you with agent attraction and rev share if you're open to that. But there's what's going to provide you for your marketing.
Sorry. I do this every time in YouTube videos, but my children, they're having a moment. But keep going, Jacob. Sorry about that.
This is all part of COVID and working at home. So we all understand.
Yeah.
So with sponsors, it's very important because, one, you're stuck with that sponsor. There's no changing unless you want to leave eXp for 6 months, and then you're kind of a sitting duck. So when you're choosing a sponsor, when I chose you, is because you spoke my language, marketing. I didn't want to be with somebody that didn't understand marketing, or maybe they were stuck doing things the old way. I knew I'm not knocking doors. I'm not making cold calls. You could call me whatever, but that is not what I'm doing. I wanted to do it the smart way, in my opinion, the social way, what I encourage clients to do on a daily basis. I wanted to do that. And so because of Mike's team with his packaging, and for what you understood being in marketing and having a strong emphasis in kvCORE, it just spoke my language. And That's what people need to understand is do not get focused on having somebody local. They will pair you with
Mhm.
somebody local that will help you with everything real estate. What you need to do is put yourself behind a brand or a team. Right now, we are the fastest growing team at eXp, one of them.
That's right.
And, you know, I think Mike already has 200 agents in his first year under him. So the fact is, I saw that and I saw what you were doing and was like, that's the team I want to be with because we're using smart resources. We're using social media. We're not just doing things like picking up a phone and call.
Yeah.
Nobody answers their phone if they don't know the number. Nobody's answering the door. Everybody's got the Ring doorbell. Nobody's answering the doorbell without looking at you first. So I just knew it was a smart decision. And I encourage people to, if you feel a connection to somebody, me, Tharmila, or even somebody else at EXP, go with them because that's going to determine your success,
Absolutely.
and whether you fizzle out or not. And you
I
have
love
success.
that. You know, you hit a couple of points that I'm like, I need to drive this home with people is that figure out what's working for you. What do you need the most? Because we're good at a lot of things, but there are things that we need to improve on and that there's somebody else is really good at. So partner with that person to help you take you there. And we're all, a couple of weeks ago, real estate market was it's still hot, it's fairly active, but it was on another level. And
Mhm.
you couldn't do it alone. There's tons of strategies that you can put to it. How do you stand out? And there are people that were looking for people to list their property. There were a lot of buyers that were struggling to find an agent to close that deal for them. And how are you going to stand out amongst all these other agents? And to me, that was through a number of different ways, and online being the number one thing to go. And I love that you kind of knew that, what, I'm a new agent, but I'm not going to let that stop me from, being successful, and I love that. Do you think that I wanted to ask you, how's it going so far? It's been a couple of months since you received your license, and and the reason that you came to the brokerage is to build your revenue share organization
Right.
as well, and to take advantage of this not so traditional way of building a team, but to have your own team. So which is, I wanted to kind of touch a base on it. So how's that going, and how are you building your team?
So everything's great. So right now, I have 4 people solid on my team, which I got from day one, and everything's going great. So first month I had 60 leads, and working with about 10 buyers at that time. Right now, we currently have about 6 people we're working with right at the current moment, and have some deals in the works. I actually, what's funny is because of doing the social media and doing some Facebook ads, I had a nurse who I believe she was a nurse. She was working for a hospital, but she's relocating here. And because she likes the way that I handled her, even though she wasn't moving until the end of next month, and it's even pointless to show her anything right now because we know it won't be there tomorrow. I worked with her, gave her the time she needed, understood her, and told her these are the follow-up dates I'm going to do. She loved it so much, and how my website just emails her new listings because it was based on what she liked. She loved the service that I had 5 people call me within that week of working with her because they're all relocating because of this company. So now I have an in with that company. People relocate, even though a couple of them want to start off with a lease, but I know they're going to buy a house within 12 months. So you're filling that pipeline, but it's going really great. And one thing that I do like about EXP, and especially the virtual aspect, is I still have my full-time business, right? And we have our marketing company, and it takes a lot. So the fact that EXP is flexible, and because everything is virtual and I can get what I need and I can be out there in the field and not have to be stuck to a brokerage office and submit everything the way I need to and have the support staff that we need, and the resources on the go, it has freed up a lot of time to make my part-time in real estate do great. My husband's going to be going full-time soon in real estate, and he's going to be handling the majority of our real estate leads and nurturing them because he's just so much better at that than me, because he's so nice. People prefer him. So, but I'm going to handle our agent attraction side. And that's the thing that really attracted me here is I don't want to be some real estate mogul that sells, 100, $200 million a year or more, 600, whatever. In real estate is that I want to have a huge sales team. I want to be able to enjoy my life. We have really big goals. And the fact that EXP with their multiple income streams. You know, you can from sales, rev share, the stock program, which we never even talked about. That's a whole nother video in itself. And the fact that their split is so low, and then you cap out, they give it back to you in stock if you're icon agent. All those things just blew my mind, because if you study wealth, you study business, you need multiple streams of income. You need to be diversified. And it's so crazy that eXp allows you to do that in one place. And the one fact that I want to leave people, especially if you have families, the one thing that really hit home for us was the fact that if I build this huge revenue share organization and I die and I pass away, I can literally leave that to my family. Most companies, with that, it's gone away. And they even give you up to, I believe it's 18 months for that person to get their real estate license so they can be paid for it. And the fact that you can will your entire business and everything you work for to a loved one and making sure they're taken care of, whether they can never close a real estate transaction again, that is the most powerful. And that speaks volume about the brokerage that we work for.
Yeah. And your legacy lives on. It's not what we all work for.
Exactly.
I think that I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to ask you one more question, and is what value, and I know we do a lot of things together for our team. So like what value, and I want to share that with people. So what value are we providing our team right now? So let's talk a little bit about that, so that people, and of course, anybody wants to get in touch with us, they can, and we'll be happy to provide more details in depth. And so there's going to be a link to our Calendly link in our description. So feel free to get in touch with myself or Jacob. But in the meantime, let's just get into a little bit of things, how we're different and what we're providing.
So not only can we utilize what Mike and Connor have built for us, which is amazing, and all the things that eXp has, and especially because we're considered the social agents, right? But you and I have a lot of things in the work, partnering together, and not only with us compared to other people, even though they're great at social media and stuff, you and I legitimately have a marketing background. This is what we went to school for. This is what we've done. So the fact that we can guide our teammates on how to get started properly, even though they still got to go do the training, they got to learn things for themselves. We can't do everything for them. The fact that they get that strategy, they get that coaching from us, that's invaluable. And the other thing is too, I mean, you do have access to a marketing company if you really need some professional things done. But the amount of one-on-ones that we can do with people, that we can coach them and give them value, especially on the marketing side, I don't think any other team can touch that. And it just even adds more to the power of Agent Wolfpack, because we can take what they're learning and show them how to really put it to use.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jacob. And I loved our interview and I loved our conversation, and there's going to be a lot more coming up. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and please subscribe, and let's keep the conversation going. Thanks so much. See you next time.
Bye.